First, let's address some confusion and doubt about pressure releases. When a subject moves through their environment, they exert pressure on the landscape. This pressure is released into the tracking medium in predictable and reproducible ways. The greater the amount of pressure released from the subject, the more dramatic the pressure releases become. Because these interactions obey the laws of physics, they occur on every trackable substrate. Only the degree to which they present themselves varies. These disc fissures present in snow or sand represent a fast walk. From mouse to moose, pressure releases are created when speed is increased or when direction is changed. We look for pressure releases on the track floor, against the track wall, and alongside the outer portion of the track on what we call the horizon cut, where the track wall ends and the rest of the substrate begins. Pressure release study number 1, changing and maintaining forward motion, creating the wave normal walk. Now I'm going to do a little quicker walk. Each of these feet represent changes in speed. The extreme left, we have a normal walk, so the push-off produces a very slight wave in the track floor that kind of culminates in a bulge right about here. Okay, we'll side view that in a minute. The second track, we actually do a quick walk you'd probably use if you were seeing the bus pull away and you wanted to just reach the door, let them know you were there. In this, the wave shears off and creates this disc. On this third track, you can see that disc has crumbled and extends beyond the middle of the track. And I'll give you all three of them in comparison. The greatest amount of pressure moving into a jog, the middle level amount of pressure moving into a quick run, and then a normal walking gait is the last one. And you can see a very mild wave of energy just behind the toes at the ball of the foot area. To illustrate how this energy is transferred from all three tracks, I can show you the distance to the next track. They're all right foot. There's a left foot at the uppermost of your screen. There's a left foot in the middle of your screen. We're going to have to actually extend past to see the energy transfer. So you can see that even with mild speed changes, the two on the left there, you're going to get noticeable track feature differences in the track floor. To understand direction change, we can still use the track floor, but we're predominantly looking at least at this stage, the pressure against the track wall and the horizon cut. We can illustrate a controlled footprint of someone just walking straight through. As they step, they plant and turn, same foot, plant, and then break right. On the first track, what we're looking at is an even pressure against the two track walls that comprise the longer parts or the sides of the footprint. There's no peaks, there's no pressure emanating outward except for a toe blowout, which is usually the case, pointing to the next track or the direction of travel. In the second one, however, where we break left, there's all kinds of indicators to tell that we actually shifted our body weight to change our direction. If you look at this track, the details that stand out the most are the toe blowout, which veers to the left. But more importantly, let me telescope in here. We can actually see a ridge where the maximum pressure was applied to the track right here. Now this ridge, if we take it, and let's see if I have a pointer here. Here we go. If we take this ridge and we line it up with the toe blowout, we'll get our direction of travel. In fact, more often than not, in a normal walking step, you'll be able to point to the next track. We look at the highest point of pressure expressed as a high point or the furthest bulge of a track. Okay, And then we look for the blowout, and you can see this debris field right here. And this is the pushing off and the exit of the foot. This one's going to be harder to see because my light angle isn't good, so let me shift that a little bit here. But again, you can see that this time, the consistent results, we have high pressure, which is the highest elevation or the furthest the debris field is away from the track. Notice there's nothing here to determine any of that. Even this landscape imposed distortion is going at an angle away from the track where the scree stick was making a dent here. And then we have the debris field. Again, it points like an arrow from here right through the debris field to the next track or the direction of travel. If you want to see how that's illustrated, I'll lay my stick so that if you imagine this is the fletchings of my arrow, here's the shaft, and then the point is that blown out debris field. We'll go airborne here. We'll see how that works. Okay, so there's the debris field. My stick's bent, so it's a little off center, but I'll actually go true to the pressure on the track. Let's see if we can find that next footprint, and there it is. And that's how it works. Note too that on this track the head direction is indicated as lower due to the pitch of the track floor, and straight ahead due to the ridge line between the two nails of the two toes that make contact with the earth. When we get closer, there's a slight change in direction indicated by a mound on the outside of the track, or the right hand side, indicating a slight push off to the forward left. And so we'll head in that direction to find our next track, forward left, and there it is. You can tell the animal's head position and level of caution on these tracks. Notice that the pitch of the track floor is downward, or the toe is deeper than the heel, and there is a mound of dirt thrust ahead of the track, slowing forward motion. A change in track pattern usually happens for a good reason. Was the animal being pushed out of an area or pulled toward an area? Was there an external stimulus like a threat or a larder? Did the animal feel caution before it was crossing an opening? Or was it feeling an urgency to stalk to a hiding place? All of this can be read in track pattern disturbances. Equally spaced tracks usually indicate a harmonic gait, where the animal is cruising along, either looking for food or a place to shelter. Here we have two track clusters. One is of a subject getting out of a vehicle. Notice how the footprints are perpendicular to the tire track, right? As the subject swings or pivots in his seat and then puts full body weight on his feet as they hit the ground. The tracks nearest the tire are perpendicular to the vehicle. When a person's entering a vehicle, their tracks parallel the tire tracks. This also indicates direction of travel for the vehicle unless they go in reverse. Track clusters don't have to be a series of tracks, they can be unique patterns. In this case we have two unique patterns. Here is an individual in a prone position. There are the thighs and knees, hands for support. And then those two dots up front, three dots up front, are elbows. The left elbow is ahead of the right elbow. This denotes the shooter. And here we have the same pattern. Again, knees, thighs, waist, hands for support, getting down and up. But these elbows are parallel. This would indicate the spotter. Deer scrapes are used to mark territory, to shed velvet. But in every case, they're indicators of the presence of bucks, and they also give direction to travel.
Mary Mother May from my home and garden left the girls to jump. Nearly broken and absolute the father dear. Get me darling mother, drink a pint of beer. Griffin, there's his mother and